Good morning, manifestors. It's Paula from the 411 on manifesting. Welcome back to my channel. How was your weekend, everybody? It was pretty nice. It wasn't too hot. I had a really productive weekend. I got a lot of things done that I needed to do. And technically, this is the last weekend that I have free until sometime in November. And it's not just all kind of market stuff. I do have some markets. I am facilitating at a retreat next weekend. And then I have a couple classes the end of September. And then I'm actually going to a day retreat at Mystic Manas and Witches Rising the end of October. So I have a lot of kind of fun stuff in there too, not just all sort of work stuff. But I want to tell you what happened yesterday to me. And this is kind of why I decided to film this vlog today. So I woke up yesterday morning and I was in a purge mood, right? So I was it started off, I have like a junk drawer. Most people do have a junk drawer, but I feel I have like 3. So there was one kind of with like paper sticking out of it. So I opened it up and I started going through it, man. I think I emptied out like half of the stuff in that drawer and actually threw it out. So I sort of continued that mood a bit and just kind of kept going a little bit through my house. So I have a big shelf with a bunch of plants on it, like big, huge, long hanging plants. And from an angle, I noticed that I had a couple of yellow leaves on one. So I went to take the yellow leaves down, sort of pick them up and put it in the garbage. And when I did that, I knocked over this really ugly vase that I have. And it's kind of in behind my plants on my plant shelf. And I literally can't see it. But I did accidentally knock it over and it shattered into a million pieces. And little teeny tiny pieces. It went in everything. It went in the plants. It was absolutely in everything. So what I had to do is sort of like pull out my entertainment center, pull out my plant shelf, just vacuum, get everything out of there. And I was sort of not sad so much that I broke the vase, but it was purge day. And I purged a vase. I purged it by breaking it and not maybe giving it to somebody or repurposing it, but I still purged it. But anyway, when I was doing that, I discovered that behind my big plant shelf, I had a whole bunch of vision boards there from like 4 or 5 years ago. So I pulled one out and I want to show it to you guys today. Because I keep my vision boards. I don't throw them away. I know a lot of people like to sort of, if they make it on the new year or whatever, that they like to throw it away kind of the next new year or after a couple months or, just sort of do whatever. I actually keep mine because I really like to look at them years down the road and see everything that I've accomplished that's happened on it. Or maybe what's not happened yet. And it kind of reminds me where I've sort of put my energy into making things happen for myself. So I really wanted to come on and show you guys. So if you can see behind me, I usually try to have this in my videos because this is where I film, is in my office. And my desk is right here, my laptop's here, and I have a bunch of sticky notes and different little hanging sayings. It's a very nice positive space for me. And I have my most current vision board that I did right behind me. So some of you, kind of may have seen that before in some of the other vlogs. But I'm going to show you this one. And I mean, it will be a bit backwards and maybe a bit big, but I'm just going to stand back a bit. Try to have it right side up. So I'm just going to go like this a little bit with it. This is a vision board from, I want to say like 4 years ago. And I think it is just so amazing because right here in the middle is a picture of a woman. She's kind of sitting on a lake looking at mountains. So when I found that picture, because I remember this when I did my vision board, when I found that picture, it reminded me of somewhere that I really wanted to go, which was to the Yukon. And 3 years ago, my best friend and I drove to the Yukon. And her and I both have similar pictures to this at a lake in BC right before we got into the Yukon. It's still on the Alaska Highway. But we both took our picture sitting on this beach, staring out into the mountains onto this lake. And when I looked at that, I had to go back and look at the picture that we took of each other sitting at this lake. And the mountains are very, very similar. Mind you, it was summertime though, so there wasn't snow. But the actual scenery with the trees and everything, it's a lot like what I had on my vision board. So I actually thought that was really amazing. Going to the Yukon I had been when I was a little girl because my aunt and uncle used to live in Whitehorse. So I actually spent a summer there when I was young. But I hadn't really been back and kind of got to do the trip that I wanted to do. So we did that trip and we did lots of camping. We bought a tent and we did camping along the way at just wherever we wanted to stop. We kind of stopped and went to Whitehorse, and then we actually drove right down to the very end before we hit the Dempster Highway, which was to Dawson City, and we camped right across the Yukon River. It was absolutely amazing. And I see my vision board, it is actually filled with mostly pictures of mountains and lakes. So I literally did that, which I thought was really, really cool. And I started to see on another one that I've cut out a lot of letters and sort of spelt some things. So I have manifest here on the side. And you know, when I made this vision board is really when I began my manifesting journey. And when I started to really study it and what it was and, you know, learned about believing things before I see them and to get into the vibration of what it was that I wanted to manifest and bring into my life and get that feeling going before, you know, my brain could get in the way or my ego could get in the way and stop anything. So I just thought that was just absolutely so cool. And I have a little picture of a baby here too. Someone's random baby that I cut out. But that sort of signified to me because I do have a grandson. And, you know, we try to see him as often as we can and just make him a really big part of our life. So that was really cool on there because I hadn't seen him for a while. I sort of lived away from my son and my grandson for a while. So I know that at that time I was just really wanting to bring him kind of closer to me or me closer to him. So, and that happened. So that's like really, really amazing. Of course, books. I've got books on there. I've got Good Life, Found Money, Find Your Freedom, all kinds of like super good positive stuff, which I really, really like. The one thing that's on here, and there's like a really big picture of it, and there's a couple, are dogs. Oh, sorry if you can't see that. Oh, there it is. There's a couple of big dogs, and that's actually not a lie because I did have my friend come and stay with me for about 6 months, a year and a half ago, and he brought his dog with him, and his dog lived here, and he looked like that dog in the picture. And honestly, he looks exactly like that dog in the picture, to be honest. So that really blows me away that 5 years ago, I cut that picture out and put it on there. And then even though I don't actually have the dog, he wasn't mine. He was kind of like a guest here for a couple months, but he was like a huge part of my life. So when I saw that picture, when I opened this up, I'm like, oh my God, there's Teddy. That's Teddy, like exactly like him. So you know, it's really neat when you put these visions down of things that you want to have happen in your life, and then you forget about them, because that's often what we do with a vision board, or at least it's what I do. I don't throw them out, but again, I just put them away, and I really like to bring them out kind of after the fact and see everything that's come true on it. So that to me was really, really amazing that there's like 3 or 4 things on this vision board that were really important to me when I made it, and they've all come true. Just love that. That's so awesome. But I do want to talk about vision boards a bit too, because up until a couple years ago, I didn't know that there are many, many kinds of vision boards that you can do. And typically when I've done a vision board, I've done it on a whole bunch of different things that I sort of want to have happen. And this year I did something a little bit different, not with that one back there, but my friend Ange and I did vision boards like New Year's Eve kind of last year coming into this year. And I just did my vision board on one thing. So there was just one thing that I wanted to bring into my life. And I learned that from a book that I was reading called Manifest by Roxy Nafouzi. And I believe I have referenced her book before a few times. But she does sort of talk about having one sort of really big thing in your life that you want and making your vision board about that. There's also timelines that you can do on your vision board. You can put it into quadrants. And actually, I learned this at a retreat I was at with Mystic Manna, that you can have, this quadrant is going to be, say, January to March. This one will be, April to June or whatever, right? And kind of separate it into the 4 seasons, even, however you want to do it. And you put everything that you want to achieve into those quadrants. So this is what I want to do by this time. This is what I want to do by this time. Now, you can make them as big or as small as you want. I know that vision boards have been around a really long time, which is amazing. I don't think people maybe took them as seriously as they do now in the last couple years, because people are really realizing the power of them. Like, they're just so powerful. Especially when you have one where it's somewhere that you're looking at every day. So you're always seeing it. It's always entering your mind. It's always becoming a part of your thought process. Vision boards don't have to be something that is, just a bunch of dreams and wishes on them. These are actual things that you want to have happen. And even if you don't look at it every day, you still will possibly walk by it or, whatever, if you're not sitting and staring at it and, giving it active thinking. But it's something that's always going to be stuck in your head all the time. And that's the power in them, is that like your subconscious is always kind of absorbing the vision of your board. So even though you don't maybe think that these things are happening, they might be happening in different ways too. But I think that's the power in putting your vision board away for after you choose to keep it up. I usually keep mine up for about a year, and I'm going to be doing another one soon because, as I stated in my last vlog, my new year kind of starts in the fall. So I really like to do one every fall. So I will take that one down, I will put it away, and I will do a new one. And I'm telling you, when you pull them out and take a look at all of the different things that you've accomplished from so many years ago, it's like that term, set it and forget it, right? You set your intention and then you forget about it and you just wait for it to happen. And they all happened. So I just think that's really, really cool. Love it. That is my vlog for today, everybody. I would love to hear in the comments what you, if you create vision boards, like the different styles that you use maybe. I actually didn't, again, like I said, I didn't know that there was a different style. I always sort of thought it would just be slamming a bunch of pictures on a piece of paper, poster board or whatever that you want to do. There's, you can set different intentions with it all and timelines. And of course, like I said, just compiling one vision on the board, like just one thing that you want to accomplish. All really cool things. I would love to hear in the comments, so anything different that you do with vision boards or that you like to do. This is how we grow and learn, by sharing all our stuff. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It helps me bring you more content. And thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing Monday, everybody. Like, amazing. Have an amazing week. We had big full moon on the weekend, so we're going into this week. I hope you all did some good releasing. We're going into this week full speed ahead. Lots of good energy. Thank you. If nobody tells you this week, I love you. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Okay, bye.